Hi Rachel, this is just a quick snippet of moving from reclined side stretch into a supine hip warmer, just to prepare and assess if someone should even be doing pigeon pose or swan pose variations. So if we're coming from side stretch and we have someone lying down, and I apologize, I know I'm not all in the video here, Rach. We can have someone in their lying side stretch. If we have them on a bolster, you'd want to give opportunity for them to extend their top leg, pressing into the hand, lifting up, perhaps removing the bolster, using the elbows to slide back down into a supine position. We would just take a little moment to play with the pelvis, taking the left leg toward the chest and extending out through the right leg. So we're just starting to experience the pigeon pose posture in an inverted orientation, feeling sensation through that extended leg. And we can take some time just to invite some gentle hip movements. And what we're doing is making sure that there's enough mobility in that hip joint. Because if the hip joint is really locked up and we then go into pigeon pose, it's going to put all the pressure into the lesser joint of the knee and likely cause damage to the knee. So we're just assessing to see what the mobility is. And if you think of the orientation of a pigeon pose, we're going to be inviting a lateral rotation of the thigh as we bring the foot in towards center. There's a few things we can do. We can start with a thread the needle pose and just start to draw that leg toward the body, just experiencing sensation through the side of the leg. We can also assess to see how that knee is feeling. The closer I bring my foot toward my pelvis, am I feeling any pinching in that medial knee? If I am, then applying pressure to this would not be wise. And the actual orientation for pigeon pose is we want to find that nice little sweet spot where our foot is hugging in under the pelvis and we're standing onto the top of the foot. So if we were to see me doing this on the floor, this orientation of my foot would be pressed onto the yoga mat. And what this does is it allows the shin bone to be in alignment with the femur bone so that we're not causing shearing at that knee joint. So I'm kind of standing onto the top of my foot. And so then once we've assessed to see that there's no tension in that knee, we might do some motion. And just starting to bring the knee down towards the chest. Does this feel safe and appropriate? Am I still able to orient my toenails toward the ceiling and my foot toward the pelvis as I start to bring my knee towards my heart? And so if that feels safe, then it's probably likely that the person can play with this pose in its full expression from the prone orientation. If it doesn't, what we're going to suggest to them is that they bring knees to chest. And I would just teach it with the more gentle orientation first. And that's where we bring our side legs. So I know you're viewing from your angle, this is the left, but this is my right leg. And I would bring that same foot in. So I'm bringing my foot in towards the pelvis and I'm going to roll the toenails down. As I do that, that's going to orient the shin bone down toward the floor. And I can play with lifting up, so there's a sensation of standing into that leg. And now I'm aligned, no knee pinching. This back leg is just bent and tossed to the side. We want to lift up, and what we want to create is traction through the hands, lengthen, bringing the top of the head forward. And so now I'm actually playing with that pigeon pose orientation, and we would call this Z pose. And then from here, to grow the posture, if it's accessible today, we would just slide that back leg back behind us. Same exact orientation with the forward leg. And I'm placing my foot in that same aspect of the pelvis. Lift up through the hands. We want to invite a pelvic loop. So there's a lifting along the front of the pelvis as we sink down and in. And this would be our swan pose or hamsasana, where we're standing. This is a yin posture because we are experiencing sensation. We're wanting to invite myofascial sensation. I also find standing into the toes can help us to orient the alignment of the back femur as well. Okay, thank you so much, Rachel. Have a great afternoon.